What's going on there, guys? Good evening. It's the Earthmaster here on this beautiful Tuesday night, October 11th, 2022. It is about 6:50 p.m. California time out here along the west coast. We got a 1.3 earthquake, looks like. They're into the California region, the latest quake out there on the Earthquake 3D globe. Let's go ahead and check out a little activity across the map here. Over here around the Japan area, within the last hour, seen a 4.3. This one pretty deep, down there at about 237 kilometers deep into portions of the Japan Trench area, well inland. Also down here in the further end, towards the southwestern portion of the Pacific Plate, getting some further deep activity, including a 4.9 at 521 kilometers deep. Now, looking at a little cluster of earthquakes here within this region. We did see, looks like over the course of the day today, a couple fours down there at least 500 kilometers deep. Looks like things getting ready to really ramp up across the western Pacific. A lot of times we look at this deeper earthquake movement and watch for major adjustment up here accordingly throughout this area. And looks like couple different segments of the Pacific Plate, or at least around the Pacific Plate, is showing some deeper earthquakes. So just a heads up on that. Japan's really been showing a little activity overall over the last couple days. So might want to watch this area specifically for some larger movement. All right, let's see what we got around the Solomon Islands area. Some earthquake activity throughout the course of the day today. Looks like at a 5.3 near the Vanuatu area earlier this afternoon time frame. 107 kilometers deep. Overall, quite a bit of deep earthquake activity ramping up throughout the day today. Down south here, we got a looks like a little earthquake activity, 2.5 near Carson, California. Now, not 100% certain exactly which fault system this struck on. Kind of looks like it may be just off of the, what is that, Palos Verdes fault zone. Let me see if I can bring up a different map here, the interactive map. And let's see, I don't know if that's going to add any further activity up here. Yeah, it kind of looks like it's in between this zone. A couple different faults here. Let's see what we got. Looks like there may be one up here, Newport, Inglewood. In between all those, it seems like. No specific area. Looks like a couple folks did report feeling this 2.5, surprisingly, around the Inglewood area and Long Beach region. Let's see what else we got here for movement. This is a 2.5 map and above, so only showing 2.5 and above. 3.5 here around the Walker, California area. Definitely been seeing a little increase in activity around this area of the Antelope Valley. Not the southern Antelope Valley, but over here around Nevada. Getting in on quite a bit of earthquake activity, it looks like, over the course of the last 24 hours. But so far, largest one looks to be a 3.5. Up into the Northern California area. This morning we did see some activity ramping up here across the region, including that earthquake out here in the Gorda Plate, or on the Gorda Plate, underneath the Gorda Plate, 23 kilometers deep. 2.9 kicking off out there in the Pacific Ocean. Up north, not a whole lot going on through Oregon. Around Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, all showing a little bit of seismic activity. No major unrest, though, to report. Throughout Nevada, it looks like things getting a little active as well. Around Mina, Tonopah area, northwest of Las Vegas. Let's see what we got here kicking up. Where we've seen that 2.5 coming in, looks like we have a couple other earthquakes. A 1.6. Now this one here is very close to the Palos Verdes fault zone. So looks like things may be starting to ramp up there a little bit. I do want to look real quick here at the Caltech website. Stand by for just a second here and see if we can't pull up their data as far as that fault system goes. Info on it. Going to be this one right here. Okay, which section was that? Let's see exactly which section that was. Palos Verdes Hill section. Okay. So looks like pretty small fault system out there, about 80 kilometers in length. Slip rate, accumulated slip rate between 0.1 and 3 mm per year. Not a lot. Looks like intervals between major ruptures uncertain. Probable magnitudes looks like a 6.0 to 7.0 or greater. Other notes, it has two main branches, continues southward. So a couple different segments here, but doesn't look like there's been any recent earthquake activity as far as full ruptures of this fault system goes here, according to those folks. So a little bit of activity kind of lighting up here into the concrete jungles of the greater LA area. So we'll watch that pretty closely. It's been a little sporadic here throughout the day. Some movement down south here, also west of the Salton Sea area, 0.8, not a big earthquake at all. Also down here around Tijuana, 1.6, just south of the Imperial Beach coming in. So California lighting up a little bit. Yesterday, this morning time frame, and past couple days, things have been very spotty down here. So it looks like things are starting to adjust and get active right now. Let's see what we got here, 2.4. That one coming in, looks like earlier this afternoon time frame. So we'll watch it, keep an eye on SoCal. One earthquake out here south of the San Leandro area near Fairview, 1.7. That one in between the Calaveras Fault and the Hayward Fault system. I know those two faults do play a major potential of a damaging future earthquake for the Bay Area. Just a matter of time. There's a lot of areas, if you really think about it, that are overdue here in the West Coast. And of course, that includes Cascadia. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and check out the tremor map tonight. I already looked at this. 349 epicenters of tremor. That's a pretty good cut from last night and over the last couple days, but still pretty good. 349, and most of it again confined here to the Oregon area. Same location where we've been watching a lot of swarming here over the last couple weeks build up along this area of the Cascadia. See what we got here for Yellowstone. Not a whole lot being reported, it looks like. About 8 earthquakes listed up there on the map from the USGS. And far as the overview goes, seismograph stations here showing a little bit earlier this morning time frame. Not a whole lot through the afternoon. This looks like some type of wind event that was coming through there for a few hours. Notice that it picked up all across the park. A lot of times this environmental noise, the weather, does play a part on these odd readings across the area. That is not magma movement. Certainly not by any means. Just some wind events that kind of came and went. See what else we got here. Salt Lake City, north of Salt Lake City, seeing a little bit of movement outside of the, what is that, Garland area. A couple ones out here in the Blue Creek Valley area. And fault systems, there's a couple of them out there, but North Promontory Fault, just south of 84 there, a couple earthquakes. Further east, movement around Oklahoma City and Arkansas. Looks like this hasn't changed since this morning's update. Those earthquakes are some older reported quakes, and the same out here for Virginia. That one coming in late last night. Not anything new to report, nothing new to report, I should say, throughout the eastern portion of the country. Down here along the Mexico coast, got a 4.4 coming in. Pretty shallow earthquake just offshore, kind of towards the Middle America Trench section of it. Northern section it looks like, but very, very quiet here as far as 4.0 and above goes. Puerto Rico area about the same, not a whole lot popping. South America has just kind of dropped off the map here for 4.0 and above. The Atlantic Ocean, seen some activity earlier this morning. 5.2 north of the Ascension Island area. 5.2, but nothing new. Nothing since then. Same for over here. So things starting to kind of kick back a little bit so to speak, on the eastern portion of the Pacific Plate. But at the same time, we're seeing some of this deeper movement here, building up some strain at the towards the surface levels of some of these subduction zones. A lot of times these deep earthquakes do trigger some major earthquakes upstream, so to speak. And subduction zones around here, the Tonga Trench, the Japan and the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, all very capable of producing some large earthquakes. All right, Big Island of Hawaii. Looks like Mauna Loa is starting to kick back up again. Latest earthquake shows a 2.1. Let me check out the Mauna Loa area real quick for its seismograph station. Let's go over here to the HVO and check their daily update real quick. I think this came out this morning, so I'm not going to read over this again. They're just talking about the earthquake activity, how it's been ongoing, and no unusual changes have been reported at the summit or in either rift zone. That's for Kilauea. And about the same here for the Mauna Loa. No signs of an imminent eruption, but looks like this earthquake activity has definitely kind of stirred some conversation up there amongst the USGS. Let me check out the seismograph station here real quick as we zoom in to the Big Island out here, where it is still yellow and advisory. Not Kilauea. Let's see here. See if I can click on that right. Mauna Loa. And we'll go over here to their seismograph station. This is a pretty cool site to check out. The USGS has a wealth of info when it comes to GPS stations and gas concentrations and whatnot across various volcanoes. And just for right now, we're checking out the Mauna Loa area. As far as their webcam goes, that looks like a current video or current still image from 1546. That's got to be their time, of the Caldera North Rim. Looks like a few clouds out there floating around. As far as seismic activity goes, double check this here and see what we got. Here's the past 6 hours of earthquake activity. This one right here, I believe, is at 2.0 that just came in. It looks like it's at about the 137 0137 time frame. Let me see what we got. 0135. So I was off a minute and a half. So that's a 2.1 showing up on the Mauna Loa seismograph station right there. Pretty well defined. It looks like some other earthquakes as well over the past 6 hours, and there's quite a bit of info related to the volcano around here, if you can find it. But quite a few different stations out here. A quick look at the GPS displacement here over the last 2 years still shows that gradual uplift. Seems like, though, since about May or so, we've definitely noticed a pretty good uptrend in the vertical displacement. Nothing major yet, but definitely something to watch, as this volcano is probably getting geared up to make a presence soon. Pahala area, still seeing some activity. Loihi Seamount, not a whole lot going on offshore. Just basically confined to the southeastern region there of the Pahala area. And a 1.7 up around the Kilauea volcano just to the southeast there. Let's see what else we got. Alaska. Things kind of looks about the same as this morning. We really haven't seen too much renewed activity up here. We were watching quite a bit of activity around the Gulf of Alaska here into the BC region, but things look like they're kind of tapering off currently. I don't see anything listed up there in the red circles currently, other than Southern California kind of lighten up a little bit. Earthquakes Canada, we'll give a quick glance here. Doesn't look like anything's been reported here. The last earthquake was in this purple circle. Looks like that was last night time frame, a 2.3. All this other movement here, some older earthquake activity from weeks past. Nothing really in the last day or so. All right, solar weather activity Things somewhat mellow for the most part. Did have a couple M flares. Overnight, early this morning time frame. Since then, looking at the solar X-ray chart, crackling a little bit with some C flares, popping a little bit, but nothing major currently. Sunspot region 3112 and 3119 getting ready to sail on by. Sail on to the northwestern section of the sun. But it's possible we could see maybe another M flare from one of these sunspots. Around the bend, I'm kind of happy to announce that it looks like we see a little bit more sunspot development out here, way out here. Still kind of hard to see currently. And also down here to the south, it looks like maybe some possible sunspots getting ready to develop. They are circled here. So that's kind of cool. We'll watch those as they kind of develop and evolve and rotate into view of the Earth. We do have 3112 back up on the list as a beta gamma class field. It was knocked down. Now it looks like it's back up, but it's not really in a position to affect Earth all that much, considering it is facing away from Earth. So nothing too much of a worry there. Let's see what else we got. No major coronal holes either, folks. So we'll just kind of take this little quiet time to keep our fingers crossed that we'll see some flaring activity in the weeks ahead. Alrighty, let's do a quick check of the buoys out here. Make sure we don't have nothing in event mode for some oddball reason. I do like to go over these just every once in a while and check them out. I don't see anything that is of concern. Kind of looks like they replaced this one here. This was not operational for a little while, if I remember right. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was this one here. A few months back, quite a lot of fear-mongering going on with some odd readings here on the chart. And it looks like it was some type of technical issue, technical error. But a couple folks here took advantage of that and kind of spread some fear. But it was down for a little bit. Looks like they got it back up and running. That is the raw data coming in there. I don't see any uplift of the floor. Of the ocean floor, I should say. Everything looks calm and as typical, as normal in the wave height or water column height at this station, 56001. Looks like that's it out there, all by its lonesome self. Sometimes that'd be kind of nice. It'd be kind of cool to be out there on a boat, no one around. After a day or so, that'd be kind of a little on the hard side, that's for sure. But at times it looks pretty peaceful. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here and get some schoolwork done. We'll chat you guys a little bit later on. Looks like a 3.3 New Zealand area kicking up a little bit. That's also another area to watch, considering all the deeper movement up here along the Tonga Trench, Kermadec Trench. That ultimately, if you really think about it here, has to be affecting this area of the plate boundary, and not to mention areas up around here. So there's just a lot, definitely a lot to take into account. I know New Zealand really hasn't seen that much in the way of large earthquake activity down here, so just probably building up here for the next large one. How big it will be, who knows? Best just to be prepared and stay safe out there. And yeah, look at South America. Only a couple small earthquakes up here in the 2 range. Nothing above the 4.0. Little on the odd side. All right, folks, have a good night. We'll stay safe out there. Also, I'm getting those decals sent out there. Some folks wanted some new decals, so those are in the mail. Just FYI. It took me a little while to get to them. Just been kind of busy. Chat you guys a little bit later on. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.